Greetings to Bishop C. James King Jr., presiding elders Reverend Dr. Wayne A. Williams, Reverend Ernest T. Miller, and Reverend Eddie L. Dixon, conference officers, delegates, and friends of the Mississippi South region. It has been a challenging conference year, with the pandemic still looming, still affecting our sense of normalcy. The conference year began differently, with planning being done a little different to adjust to the new normal. Although services were not being held physically in the church, the ushering ministry did not stop. Many thanks to the district usher president, Mrs. Doris Powell of the Greenwood-Jackson District, Mrs. Willie Dale Sanders of the Columbus Meridian District, and Mr. Joe McLeod of the Gloucester-Hattiesburg District, and to all of the Mississippi South Region ushers for their steadfast support of this ministry. With COVID-19 restrictions still being in place, I knew that any goals set for this conference year might be a little challenging. The goals were, 1, to have a connectional Usher Day program for the Mississippi South region, and 2, to conduct a Mississippi South region usher training workshop. I am proud to say, despite being virtual, we were able to accomplish these goals. The Mississippi South region connectional Usher Day program was held virtually. The Gloucester-Hattiesburg District hosted, and the Reverend Johnny Porter, pastor of the Rose Hill CME Church, was the guest speaker. During this program, 2 love offering checks were virtually presented to ushers, Mr. Randy Michael and Mr. Sammy Harper. Both were victims of a devastating tornado. They are both ushers at the Holly Springs CME Church in Bassville, Mississippi of the Gloucester-Hattiesburg District. Because ongoing training is important, the Mississippi South Region Ushering Ministry conducted a successful virtual workshop. I had the honor to represent the Mississippi South region during a Facebook Live interview with Reverend Dr. Skip Mason, pastor of the West Mitchell CME Church in Atlanta, Georgia, and host of the successful podcast entitled When We Were Colored, Early CME Church History. In November 2020, while visiting my son Ronza in Connecticut, I had the opportunity to attend indoor services at the Phillips Metropolitan CME Church in Hartford, Connecticut. Virtual visits to usher programs were made to the following churches: Zionel CME Church of the Gloucester-Hattiesburg District, where I served as the virtual guest speaker; Jennings Temple CME Church of the Greenwood-Jackson District; Curry Temple CME Church, Compton, California; the home church of Connectional Usher President Diana Winton; Emmanuel Temple CME Church, Victorville, California; and the Connectional Usher Day program for the Northeast Mississippi region, where Queen Martin serves as the region president. I also attended other virtual programs and planning events: the Mississippi South Board of Christian Education planning meeting, the Columbus Meridian District Lay Day program, the Gloucester-Hattiesburg District missionary program, the Greenwood-Jackson District missionary program, the Greenwood-Jackson District Usher program, the Louisiana Region Lay Day program, and virtual revival services at the Sanders Chapel CME Church of the Columbus Meridian District. The Mississippi South Region Ushering Ministry pauses to pay tribute to the following ushers lost during this conference year. In the Greenwood-Jackson District, Mr. Benny Jackson of the Hellam Chapel CME Church in Carrollton, Mississippi; Mrs. Mary Lee Spells and Miss Lyda Howard, both members of the Jennings Temple CME Church in Greenwood, Mississippi; in the Columbus Meridian District, Loisteen Porter, Lonely Valley CME Church, Louisville, Mississippi; and in the Gloucester-Hattiesburg District, Katie Porter of the Blue Springs CME Church, Columbia, Mississippi. Although gone, they will not be forgotten. Although this has been a virtual year for the ushering ministry, please know that the outreach continued, and as ushers, we are excited to be going back into the churches to greet each of you. Because many of you sometimes only see us in our crisp usher uniforms and white gloves, the Mississippi South Region Ushering Ministry is excited to share our new dress-down look. For this conference year, we are wearing our new polo and/or t-shirts. In closing, I am very grateful and appreciative of your faith in me to continue serving another year as your Mississippi South Region Usher President. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to continue to serve. My continued pledge is to give you my best service. Humbly submitted, Patricia A. Anderson, your Mississippi South Region Usher President. If you